All right, one of the biggest questions that we get at Kifaru is what type of stay do I need, or what type of bend? Now, Kifaru offers a composite stay and an aluminum stay, which goes inside, in this case, this duplex frame. What the biggest reason that we ask for if you have a flat back or not is because of the bend of the actual stays. Now, here we have all three. Basically, this is two aluminums, one composite with all three bends. This is a bend for somebody that actually has a curved back. This is the bend for somebody with a semi-flat back. And this is for me, a guy with no butt at all or a flat back. And now, if you can imagine, with this lumbar pad, that lumbar pad goes in the lower part of your back. And if I put this pack on with this much bend, this bend here is the portion that's going against basically my butt and lower back. If that bend is too great, that causes unnecessary pressure of the lumbar pad into my lower back. What we get as far as questions is generally guys, since that composite stay is lighter, they will just skip all the fine details and boom, order the composite stays without realizing the repercussions. What they are is, if you have a flat back, like in my case, I get the composite stays and I put 40 pounds in, you probably won't notice a difference. When you get in that 50, 60, up to 120 pound range, that causes an insane amount of pressure on the lumbar region because that pushes this pad unnecessarily into the lower back. So we offer 3 bends of stays. Now, again, like I said, we have the composites that are lighter weight. Now, when you take this stay, this is more or less a common bend that Patrick and Kevin have come up with. But you can customize these yourself, or you can put in the notes, I believe. Kevin, why don't you come up here? You can put in the notes that you may want a slightly different bend, and Kevin can do that.
That is correct.
Now what I do, or what I suggest to people that really get kind of geeked up about backpacks and tripping their pack out, is when you pull all that apart on the lower lumbar region, like Kevin had just done to adjust the shoulder straps, you can also pull out the stay. When you do that, in my case, I have kind of a goofy back. Kevin makes fun of me about it. I have pretty large shoulders. So Kevin, why don't you hold that up to me on my back. And so basically that follows the contour, that bends away in the middle of my back to allow for this, a little room for this cushion here, this padding in the middle of my back. And then you have the bend going away for your load lifters. Now, since I have larger shoulders, Kevin and I kind of had goofed around and we took a little bit of the center bend out of my stays to kind of torque this away from my back or upper shoulders a little bit. So I guess what I'm getting at is, if, go ahead and stand here. If you get a pack, scoot forward just a little, and you're feeling pressure right here, that is because we are getting this foam right here, a little bit excess pressure. That doesn't mean the pack isn't going to work for you or anything else. That means you may want to pull the stay out and torque it a little bit to get that pressure off the back here. That's one of the great things about Kifaru packs, is you can customize them. The one thing you don't want to do is pull the stay out haphazardly, forget how it went back in, which is top or bottom, and what your original bend was. So what I suggest to do is cardboard, go in the garage wall, trace this so you have the exact bend of where it came from the factory, and torque a minute amount each time until you get it perfect. Now, if you have a big issue or crazy pain in your lower back, call Kevin or I, and we'll kind of guide you from there. But it's just slight customizable. You can take that, bend it a little bit. Kevin has rollers, kind of a jig system to where he can bend them. But you can definitely customize it. So again, we have the composites, which I would say this is 70%, 80% of the world has a curved back. That's what the composite's for. And then as you line these up, you can see semi-flat back, flat back, and extremely curved back. Those are the 3 stay options and how you can potentially torque or adjust those as time goes on and you're getting the pack perfectly fitted for you.
And another thing too, if you don't know whether you have a normal back or a semi-flat back or a normal curve in your lumbar area, the thing to do is to stand up with your heels up against the wall, your butt as well as your head, and have somebody stick their hand back here. And if you can get your whole hand back through your lumbar area, you have a normal curved back. If you have a semi-flat back, you're probably maybe just getting some fingers through there. And
in my case, you can't get anything.
You can't get anything through that.
What would you say percentage-wise you get from flat back to semi-flat to standard curve?
I would say maybe 5% of the people I do are semi-flat back and maybe 1% are flat back.
So it's pretty uncommon to have the non-existing butt like I have, but I do have it. So like Kevin, why don't you stand back there and we'll check you real quick.
Okay.
So in Kevin's case, I got up to the bottom of my hand. So he's a typical guy and can use the composite stays. So either way, that's a pretty good, gives you a pretty good idea tutorial of what stay you may need, what you can do with them when you get the pack.